was never your work ethic. The world just does not reward effort the same way it rewards visibility, proximity, and trust. Nobody sat you down and explained that. They let you grind while opportunities quietly move through networks, rooms, and relationships you were never a part of. This channel has studied the pattern behind how access actually moves, and the same mechanics show up every time, regardless of industry, background, or skill level. This video breaks down why talented, hardworking people stay invisible, and the real ways access opens, and the specific shift that changes how doors start finding you. If you have ever watched someone less qualified get the job, the deal, the connection, you weren't imagining it. There's a pattern, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. There's a pattern behind how access actually moves, and most ambitious people spend years working against it without ever knowing it exists. The system most hardworking people are running on was never built to take them where they're actually trying to go. The most dangerous map is the one that is almost right. When a map is completely wrong, you know something is off quickly and you stop trusting it. But when a map is mostly right, you follow it confidently, all the way to the wrong destination, and you never understand what went wrong. The formula most young men are running on is on that map. Work hard, stay consistent, get good enough, and opportunities will find you. Parts of that are true. Work matters, skill matters, but this pattern shows up the same way regardless of background, industry, or how hard someone is grinding. The map leaves out entire territories. The conversations that happen before a role ever gets posted publicly, the referral that moved the deal 3 weeks before anyone else knew it was actually available, the introduction made inside a room most people never knew existed. You followed the map perfectly. You just did not know it had missing pieces. And nobody who handed it to you knew either, because it had gotten far enough that they stopped questioning it a long time ago. The missing piece of the map has a name, and it is not a mindset shift or a brand new skill. If you want to know exactly what's been leaving you out of the rooms where opportunity moves, the Fifth Circle Access Playbook breaks it down and gives you a first path in. If you're looking for that, it's linked in the description of this video. That incomplete map is only part of what's working against you. If you've ever put in months of real work and had nothing visible to show for it, there's a reason for that. There's a specific mechanic behind why consistent effort produces no momentum and has nothing to do with how much you are doing. Hard work is supposed to compound, but for most people, it never does. Compounding only works when something is being witnessed and built upon. Money compounds because it's tracked, reinvested, and added over time. Reputation works the same way. Each person who sees your work carries it forward to the next person, and that chain is what makes someone's name travel before they walk into a room. Trust compounds through repeated interaction, each one either adding or taking from someone believes about you. But effort that happens in isolation, that no one sees, no one references, and no one passes forward, resets to zero every single time. It doesn't stack, it doesn't carry. You wake up the next day and start from the same place you were yesterday, regardless of how many hours you put in the night before. This is a ceiling most ambitious people hit and never correctly identify. They assume the problem is that they're not working hard enough, so they work harder. But the ceiling is not effort. It is the effort that's happening somewhere nobody is looking. You can grind in a room with no audience for years and produce nothing but exhaustion. That exhaustion is not just the cost of working hard in the wrong direction. There's a second cost running alongside it, and that most people never identify. Most ambitious people are not just invisible, they're spending their time searching for something that quietly moves somewhere else before they ever started looking. The opportunity you are looking for was probably already gone before you ever knew existed. Most people search for opportunity the way they search for a product online. They go to the public channel, browse what is available, and apply for what they can find. Job boards, open applications, public announcements, cold outreach to strangers. And that system works occasionally for the opportunities that did not get filled before they ever went public. But that's a smaller portion of the market that most people never realize. The real market moves before it becomes visible. It travels through a conversation between two people who already trust each other, through a mention at an event where someone happens to say they're looking for exactly what you do, through a referral, or for someone who has seen your work and vouches for you without being asked. By the time something gets posted publicly, it usually passed through several private conversations already. The people who keep getting pulled into better rooms are not finding opportunities, they're already inside the conversations where opportunities are being created. And the difference between those two positions is not talent or effort. It's proximity, trust, and visibility in the right places. That is the game most people never knew they were supposed to be playing. That game has been running in the background of your entire life, and at some point you've probably felt its results without being able to name what's actually happening. The difference between the person who keeps getting chosen and the person who keeps getting passed over is not random, and it's not luck. Picture two people with the same skill, the same background, and the same amount of time. One of them keeps getting opportunities, the others keeps getting overlooked. From the outside, it looks like luck. One person seems to be at the right time at the right place, getting introductions, getting pulled into deals, getting called when something opens up. The other is working just as hard, maybe harder, and the phone stays quiet. The difference is almost never what it looks like from the outside. It's not that one person got lucky and the other did not. It's that one person has been quietly building something the other has not. And this pattern shows up the same way across industries, backgrounds, and levels of experience. What they built is not complicated. They made the direction visible enough so that the right people could understand what they do and who they are for. They stayed close to the rooms where decisions get made. They became useful to the people before they even made a request, and their reputation moved ahead of them into conversations they were not even a part of, because none of that gets taught. Because nobody explains that this is the infrastructure behind opportunity. Most people chalk the gap up to luck or connections they were not born with, but it's neither. The gap is a product of small, consistent decisions made by someone who understood what game they were actually playing. Understanding the game is one thing, but there is a specific reason why most people who understand it still cannot seem to move. Most ambitious people are not stuck because they lack information. They are working hard on something that has nothing to do with what is actually creating the problem. Imagine going to a doctor with a broken arm and leaving with advice on how to eat better.
I want to eat this.
I mean, the advice is not wrong. Nutrition matters, but it has nothing to do with why you came in the first place. And following it will not fix what's actually broken. This is what happens when ambitious people try to solve invisibility. They feel stuck, they feel overlooked, they feel like their effort is not turning into anything, and they reach for solutions that are most available to them. They work harder, they learn more, they add another skill to a profile that already has too many directions on it. And none of it moves the needle because none of it is treating the actual problem. The actual problem, and this pattern shows up the same way regardless of industry background, and it's almost one of the four structural things. A signal issue, where someone's profile or presence communicates random then clear, so the right people cannot immediately understand what they do or who they're for. A proximity gap that keeps them far from the rooms their work would matter. A position problem that makes them look like everyone else even when they're not. Or a speed problem that causes them to hesitate when a door cracks open and they miss the window entirely. These are not motivational problems. These are specific, structural, and diagnosable. The issue is that most people never stop working hard long enough to figure out which one is theirs. Knowing the four structural problems is one thing. Knowing which one is holding you back right now and what to do first is something else. This is exactly what the Fifth Circle Access Playbook is built for. The link is in the description below if you want to get access and know what to do in the next 7 days. Once you know which problem is yours, there's a single shift that changes how the entire game feels from that point forward. Most people spend years waiting for the right moment to arrive. The people getting access made a different decision about how they were going to operate entirely. You cannot force a door to open, but you can build the conditions that make someone want to open it for you. There's a difference between chasing opportunity and creating the environment where opportunity finds you. Most people are chasing. They're sending cold messages into silence, applying to roles that are unknown for on paper, waiting for someone important to stumble across their work in the corner of the internet nobody is visiting. That approach operates from a position of distance. The person on the other side of the door does not know you, they don't trust you, and has no reason to prioritize you over someone that already has a relationship with. The shift is about closing that distance before the opportunity appears, not by being aggressive or inauthentic, but by making yourself visible in the right direction, useful to the right people, and present in the right rooms long enough that when something opens, you're not a stranger making a request. You're someone they already know something about, someone whose work they have seen, whose direction is clear, and whose name is already in the conversation. That transition from unknown outsider to known quality already in the room is what the entire game comes down to. And it starts the moment someone decides to stop waiting and start building. That decision is the turning point. But turning points only matter if something actually changes after them. If you ever had a moment of clarity about exactly what you needed to do differently, and then watch it fade before you acted on it, you already know what it costs to understand something without having the first move. Most people will watch this, feel it land, and go back to doing exactly what they were doing before. Not out of laziness or lack of ambition, but because they understand the game and actually playing it differently are two separate things. Without a clear first move, without knowing which lever to pull first or how to start closing the distance, most people default back to what is familiar. More effort, more waiting, more grind in a direction that has not began producing movement. This video was the briefing. It explained why the invisible effort does not compound, why opportunity moves privately before it becomes public, and why the gap between the people getting access and the people getting passed over is structural rather than random. But a briefing without a plan is just information. The fifth circle access playbook is the plan. It takes everything laid out here and turns it into a 7-day sequence of moves, starting with diagnosing the specific variable holding you back, and second, working through cleaning your signal, building a 10-second answer that makes people immediately understand your value, creating proof that you are in motion, and make your first real access attempt without looking needy or lost. The fifth circle access playbook is linked in the description of this video. The door was never locked. You just needed to know where it was.